allô. Le coq de l'école, allô, allô. Le coq de l'école, allô, allô.
2016 stand up. I'm standing up for this video instead of sitting down like I normally do to back the words I'm saying. Get that dirt off your shoulder. This video is for the 2016 YouTuber of the Year award. I guess some of y'all will have to understand what a YouTuber is. And basically, I'd say over the past 6 years, it's an actual terminology for someone that's either close to being able to actually make a living off of YouTube, that they generate so many subscribers, so many views, so much interest that they actually can do it for a job, or they able to work a job and bring in a healthy amount of income just based off their popularity. So YouTubers would be brothers such as The Advice Show, brother out of Houston, Texas, who is friends with my YouTuber of the year that I'm gonna mention. Tommy Sotomayor, a black man that I can't stand, and one day I checked him for disrespecting the young lady who I feel is a YouTuber of the year, and she knows about that, and she was even humble when I explained that situation to her. So let's see. So Advice Show, Tommy Sotomayor, um, just a lot of people. There's a lot of people on the other side, but as you know, in terms of the people that are African American that do YouTube, it's kind of a small circle. It's not a whole lot of them in the first place, and then the ones who do it very well, oh, Boyce Watkins, you can put him in there because he's kind of built up a big following from doing it. But let's get to it. YouTuber of the year is lovelyti. So you saw her picture real briefly before I started talking. But just like all these end of the year videos I'm going to do, I'm just not going to tell you that lovelyti is the YouTuber of the year and then just leave it at that. I got to back it up. So, number one reason for this year. All right. See if you can see that. She dealt with black tragedy. I felt that she dealt with that very effectively because, unfortunately, as you know, the police just went buck wild on my people this year, African Americans. It's primarily males, but even Corin Gaines, the sister down in Baltimore, Maryland, shot her and shot her baby in the arm. I think he was 5 or 6 years old, and it just seemed like it was never gonna stop. And I thought that she did a lot of responsible journalism when she was covering the riots. There were even riots in my city, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I was still living in Atlanta, Georgia at the time, so all of the information was coming back to me was secondhand, but it didn't matter if it was what happened in Charlotte, what happened in her hometown of Minneapolis, what happened in Baton Rouge. She was right there. She even did the Million Man March. She even went down there, and kind of had a controversy with Howard University in terms of how she was treated. But I feel that any black YouTuber that is going to put any information out there that's worth their salt will deal with the serious issues. And I felt, no, that was my number one reason. I felt she was outstanding with that. Okay, number two. Okay, she was the only black YouTuber who dealt with demonetization or who spoke on it. And lovelyti almost got to the point It sounded like she was in tears. She was gonna quit YouTube. She wasn't gonna do it all together. But as you know, as a people, anything that we become successful at and we kind of find a niche and start making some money off of it, eventually that rug gets pulled out from underneath us. You know, in Milwaukee, black people started thriving in daycare, child care. They changed all the regulations in order for you to be able to have it. Black men such as myself started doing very well in that area known as crisis stabilization, working with at-risk youth, which is something I did. I end up having a real rough experience, and a black male friend of mine, his whole business, they went after him, got him up out of the city for all the dirty stuff that they were doing. And now, same thing. You see a sister that's doing very well on YouTube. You see other brothers that's doing well. And so they started attacking some of her videos, some of the titles and keywords she was using, and basically just straight demonetizing quite a few of her videos. And they were doing this to, a lot of black YouTubers. Sure, it was a lot of white guys too that I saw, but she was the only one who really spoke on it and was so honest to the point where she says, I'm ready to stop doing this. But thankfully for all y'all out there to support her, y'all support was enough to the point that made her come back and made her kind of think of how am I going to continue to do this, even though they're trying to take me out of the game with it. All right. So that was the second reason. Okay. Number 3 reason she's YouTuber of the year is her celebrity gossip is better than Wendy Williams. Now, some of y'all might even wonder, like, okay, Track Lacer, inner city dude, rap artist, from Milwaukee, like, why are you even into lovelty's channel? That's just more for chicks. Yeah, unapologetically, the majority of her fan base is females. But one of the reasons I rock with her is because I rock with her back, I want to say 5 years ago, like 2010, 6 years ago, 2011, somewhere in there, when she was first starting out. You know, her first video, she was just giving tutorials on how to do black hair, how to do natural hair. Then she started doing stories on some of the ratchet stuff that was happening in our community. And then eventually she just started expanding. And then she's a fellow Midwesterner like me, Minneapolis, Minnesota, stand up, 612. And I'm from the mill. And I just always felt that she was very genuine, so a lot of times I'll be like one of the only dudes on there to leave a comment. But like I said, it's more because I kind of came up and saw her come up from where she was. And I'm serious when I say that as celebrity gossip goes, she got the tea movement and, she's sipping tea and she got the t-shirts you can order now about the tea. But the reason I said that she's better than Wendy Williams is because, I kind of think that Wendy kind of caters a little bit more to a black audience, a white audience, than a black audience, even when she's talking about black celebrities. And sometimes people aren't coons, Wendy grew up in the suburbs. She was not a hood chick. She grew up in a 2-parent household in the suburbs in New Jersey. So not Brooklyn, not Queens, not Newark, New Jersey, where Whitney Houston is from. She grew up somewhere in the suburbs. So her mind frame and her mentality to cater towards those white women in the audience, that's authentic. Whereas, Lovely T, Minneapolis, Minnesota, that's all you need to say. The Midwest is rough. Any one of us that is successful that came out of the Midwest, man, we made from a different type of ingredient, man, because in the summertime, we get 2 months. And then for those other 10 months, the winter is kicking our butt. So that really kind of just ingrains a tougher DNA in you. And yeah, she's funny. She talks about what's going on. She usually does the trending topics that are on Twitter, and it's very interesting because she'll make her opening statement, and then she'll do a large part of the video where she's showing you all the memes and all the tweets that people had to say about it, and then she comes back with a final comment. So I think a lot of reason why her channel is so popular and why her formula works so well is because it's not really all about her. It's definitely interactive the way she goes about doing it. So that's all I gotta say, except for the fact, T, you gotta remember the name of your channel is lovelyti. So I like DJ Academics, and it's cool that DJ Academics do his thing of all the dancing memes and the funny pictures and all that back and forth, but you're lovelyti. You know what I mean? And it's like you came up with that name for a reason. So, you need to get your fine half black, half African Minnesota self back on the TV screen and let us see why you talking, man. I got a barber. My barber been watching your videos for like 4 years now. I showed him one video. He been watching you ever since. And trust me, it isn't because of a whole bunch of memes and animated pictures. He was watching that because of you. All right, but congratulations. If nobody else gave you this award, at least you know you got it from me. And keep up the good work. This is Track Lacer, 2016 YouTuber of the Year is lovelyti.